Gee.
Eric.
See? Hey, what's up?
How are you doing?
Hey,
Good, I'm at my brother and sister-in-law's. There's kids everywhere, so I'm going to mute it.
Apparently.
Ah, Eric's there. And Ashley. That's good.
Yeah, that's
there
my
we go.
sister-in-law, guys.
Oh, no
Oh.
worries, Eric. That's good.
Ashley Green. Okay. Hi, Ashley.
She's going to become a trader.
And so she should.
And everybody can. So that's all good. All right. So Anne, what we'll do is I'll just we'll share up screen. So we're
And let's start with our Forex factory to make sure we know what's going on in the world.
absolutely. Let me just though check first. I just want to make sure that we're streaming up in here.
I'm checking it for you, Brian. So no worries.
Yeah, Laurie's there too, so it's all cool. No worries. So we'll go to Forex Factory. Now, the only issue when I show up Forex Factory, it's gonna have all my stuff on it, my dates and things and times. So
Which is fine because I can translate that to Eastern, so that's okay.
yeah, you can try. Oh, you can share yours if you want Eastern stuff too. So
Well, I mean, if you want me to do that, and then we'll have it in the time frame that we're dealing with.
yeah, if you want to. Well, I'll just show you mine.
Yep.
Look, for here, I'm at Friday the 6th of September already. So it's now nearly 10 o'clock in my morning. So oh look, I think we better do something first though. Hey, I'm Brian Knight from Melbourne, Australia. and
We almost forgot who we are.
then
And I'm Ann Armitage from Ontario, Canada.
and we're being joined by some people in our ninja group because we're doing a baby boomers power hour.
Hour. Yay.
A trading hour. And just so you know, I'm sitting in a car park outside the Melbourne Zoo because it's one of my granddaughter's birthday today. She's 2. And so they've all gone into the zoo. And I said, look, I've got to do this power hour and then I'll come and join you in the zoo. So so we'll see how we go. We just do the hour and then we'll go from there.
Yep.
So you know the what's happening. Oh, is this Mr. Lupino?
Hey, Tony.
This is early in the morning for you, Mr. Lupino. What's going on?
That's a bit.
Late afternoon, I mean, late night.
Oh my God, is the bed wet or something?
Yep.
Brian, steady.
There. Anyway, yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning, yeah.
Or afternoon.
Yeah, no, it's afternoon for Anne. It's morning for me.
It's night.
Yeah, it is. What do you got?
It's
You got
8 p.m.
8. Yeah, just before 8.
Yeah.
So this is my Friday the 6th, just so to explain. And we're looking at things that happened earlier. You got USD. So anything that's orange, anything that's yellow, yeah, not so much of an issue. Anything that's orange, you might notice a bit more. Anything that's red, you better sort of take a good notice of that one. All right. So so what we've got from my time point of view, so it's now 10 a.m. in the morning. So that's 12 midnight, 12 days. So 1 o'clock in the morning, 9:30 a.m. We're in here. So this CHF and this US has already happened, right? Through this hour here, there's really nothing going on there. What is coming up though, my evening, which will be tomorrow for people, is a bit of CAD and US news coming up. And this is a common one here, Anne, isn't it? Non-farm employment change.
First Friday of every month.
First Friday of every month. And for me, it's around, 10:30, 11, midnight sort of thing for me. And we call it NFP, or it's termed NFP. And
yeah, so when you hear NFP, that's what it stands for.
Non-farm payroll, actually, but they call it non-farm employment change, which is all of the employment figures in the US for people that are not on any farms, non-farm related work, if that makes any sense.
And it more often than not has a fairly significant effect on Forex trading for that day.
Yeah, and the US and the particularly US dollar and gold even. It makes it sort of jump around a fair bit. So
Yeah.
if you're in trades and it's got US in the somewhere in the currency pair, you just need to have an extra level of of care with it. Okay. So does that cover that, Anne, do you think?
I think it does. So we know what we're in the zone that we're in right now. We should be fine.
Yeah, it's really around here, and there's really nothing there at the moment. What's happened is a couple of red before.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what
So
we've
should we-
been, yeah, sorry.
I was just going to say, so let's see how we can have a look at the web analyzer and see if there's anything
Yeah.
there that we can have some fun with.
Yeah, well, what I saw is on a 15-minute Euro AUD came in 20 minutes ago. I've got it up here now, and this is what's happening there, Mr. Lapino. There's a bit of a twist going on there. Look at that. Oh,
Yeah.
he's not fucking. See the twist on the end here? It's come down there, and you've got the red and blue are actually inside the cloud.
Which means right away that we're not even going to entertain that.
Correct.
Oh, what a rough
know.
opportunity.
For those who don't know, this strategy that we're looking at is called ECC11, and it's based on the Ichimoku Kinko Hyo strategy, a Japanese strategy. And one of the rules for this particular strategy does say that if there should be a change or crossover the red and the blue lines, which are called the TK cross. If the TK cross should occur within that cloud, that sort of cloud shaded in area, then it's a trade that we do not want to do anything with at this moment in time. Yeah,
it's got a high probability of being a possible trade, but not a great trade. I'll say this again. We're here for great trades, not any trade.
That's right.
So let's have a look. We got an hour ago, there was GBP AUD. We could look up and down timeframes, but on the 15 it comes out. It's not really appropriate. What have we got here? Oh, okay, this is interesting. I was on this yesterday with Underground Railroad. So this was the sort of the break you went through there. Oh, sorry, it's one of my alerts.
That's okay.
This is where it sort of dropped down. This was the sort of the day range through there, and then it did this little jump around after the sort of 3 o'clock, my 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then off it. So if I measure that, just as if you had got into the trade there and up out there, that was like 186 pips.
Yeah.
That happened sort of in my evening when I was asleep. So, but then what's happened since, and Mr. Lapino can see there too. See how the cloud has opened up and sort of gone sideways?
It's a whole lot of consolidation happening.
It's like up, down, 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 a little up and down, little up and down, little. It's really nice. And so the possibility of it to do something is, could be there. I mean, this RSI is sitting in, what have we got it at? About 50. So it's sitting right in the middle. Good evening, Jeanette. And what I'd like to do, and what I normally do with this, is that we put in, I've got this vortex indicator saved as a default in there as well, and mine's set at 3. And so you've seen, this is sort of separated out here very nicely. If we were to pull it back over here, and you see that big buy there, you can see how they've separated, and it opens up to a really big sort of wide difference between them before they come out, then they cross. So you get this little down, and then you get it continuing up. See how it's opened back up again? And then all we've really seen since this point for all this consolidation is basically this vortex. The only thing that opened up a little bit there, but it's still come back close there. It opened up a bit, you've got this little buy bit up there, but then it's come together. So you can see how it's sort of like trying to intertwine like a grapevine on each other. Basically, there's
Yep.
no real opening that's occurred.
Nope, and it doesn't look like anything's coming either.
Not at the moment. Not at the
No.
moment.
No.
So what this is an example of, hang on, just move us out of the way from it so I can get this one. I might just do that so we can see this a bit clearer. Let's just pull it down there. What this is an example of is not a lot of volume in the market. This is where you know, the buyers and the sellers are basically asleep at the wheel. You know, they do a little bit, you know, there's a little bit going on, but there's no big players as such to push it up or down. Yeah.
No. And I'll bet if we actually check the currency strength that they would be pretty much the same.
Let me, there's some stuff in the chat there too, Anne.
I got it.
You got it? Okay.
Yep.
And so if I go to that one's the currency strength one. So the web analyzer has currency strength. So we're on GBP AUD, and they're basically, you know, 15.27. There's not a lot of difference between them. If we go to the 15-minute, the same thing. There's 11 and 13. You know, there's not a lot of difference in its strength at the moment, which means one's not dominant, which means you're not going to get a buy or a sell because of the evenness of the two currency pairs.
Yep.
Thanks for remembering that, Anne.
No problem. I'm here. I'm here for you.
So that's basically the reason that's sitting there. Now, what I can say is there is a high possibility, though, that when things tick over, because this is the AUD, the British pound, Australian dollar. So England is asleep at the moment, and that's not, well, we can almost say asleep at the wheel, but no. I mean, it's their night time, so there's not necessarily a lot of impetus from a British pound perspective, unless it's sort of now it's in the, you know, we're now in the Aussie market as such, the Forex market.
The Aussie Tokyo. It's still probably going to be another 25 minutes before there's much in the way of any activity because we're still right in the thick of the crossover.
Yeah. And so the market tends to sort of be a little bit sort of waiting and seeing what's happened. Yet, when you have something like this level of consolidation, if we were to go up to say 1 hour and have a look there, you can see there was a nice jump over 1, 2, 3, 4 hours, and then it's done this, and you can see these bodies of candles. Okay, let me just come back here. Hang on, I'll just do this, and then we'll drag it up a bit and see if I can. Okay, if you look at this candle here, or look at this candle, and then look at this candle, and then that one, these ones also have a long wick on them. This doesn't. So this is an engulfing candle here. You had a sell there, then it went across from there, went into a bit of sell, but then went into buy, and then came back and finished. Then went across there, it went down a bit to a sell, went up to a buy, and came back a bit. So this is like the sentiment of the way the market worked in these. And then again, it crossed over here, it pushed down, pushed up, and finished in the middle here. Went across, pushed up. It pushed up quite high, but then got pushed back down. So the reason why it got pushed down is because the sellers were sort of trying to take over. Because you had buy, and it's going buy, not enough buy, not too much buy. We're going to now go into selling it.
Yeah.
And so you see this candle, it tried to push up, but bang, it pushed back down into the sell. Then it went to a bit of a buy. Then look at these two. These
dojis.
These are just absolute, like, the market is going, I'm not going to let you buy, I'm not going to let you sell, I'm just going to stuff around in the middle. I'm going to push up and down. And then all you've got is these little tiny movements going on. Tony, you can chime in at any time you like and talk about your aspect of it as well if you want to.
For those who may not know, Tony has been trading ECC 11 for a while, and he's extremely knowledgeable on this strategy.
Yeah.
You're doing very well, Brian, with your explanation.
Thank you. I think I've learned it all off you, Tony.
Oh,
We learn from each other, don't we?
Yeah, we
yes,
do.
we
And I think, and I will mention here, this ninja group is absolutely awesome. The people that are in it and are willing to share their knowledge and their experience for others to learn, it just blows me away every day. So
Yeah, totally agree.
yeah, thanks to everyone that does that.
It's an amazing community to be a part of.
And I think also too, I want to mention at this point, remember I said our motto is great trades, not any trade. Yeah.
Yep.
And so if we go through this power hour and there isn't a trade possibility that we're going to sort of commit to, then that is okay. It just means that this hour there wasn't something that we could do.
Yeah. The market has to reveal itself, and it doesn't always when you want it to.
Yeah, correct. What I will say though, and what I have a sense of though, and because I've been with GBP AUD for a while, in the sort of the way the market is, if you look back to the same time in the day, there was quite a nice movement in a very short period of time. So let's just go here. I'm just going to pull this over here, and we'll look at roughly the same time of the day and what it did. What have we got? That's the 4, 10, 1. Oh, I've got it set up on the wrong. Sorry. I'll set it to my time, and then I'll be able to let's go to Sydney, which is the same as Melbourne. So basically, this is. Can you see what happened? Here we go. I'll just pull it across. Can you see what happened yesterday? There was that rise, then there was this sort of sideways but slightly down, right? And this is where we are now, same sort of time. Can you see then at 10:15, at 10:30, and then what happened at 10:45? Bang. So I'll just measure. If we measure from there down to there, that's like an 84 pip drop. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm not. This is quite a long sort of span of consolidation.
Yeah, it's a much larger consolidation this time around.
Yeah, and if we were to let me just do this. If we were to do a horizontal line, and I just put that, say, where's the price is right there now, right? If I put that on price and put a line, and I'm going to do this, people. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do another little line, and I'm going to put it just about there. And I'm going to do this. I'm a bit of a line guy, and I'm going to do another one just in about there. And you can see it touched that. It's there. It's there. It came down there. There is also too this. If we look, that down just slightly there. These pushed up and back and up and back and up and back. So what I've just drawn now is sort of like it's a band that the price has basically gone between. It hasn't broken out of there. It hasn't broken out of there. And basically it's been really in between those two lines in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it also too, most of the time, not all, but most of the time it's been above that blue line. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is it's quite not rare, but it's quite unusual for it to just bounce around in between two lines for sort of in a way this period of time. There will be probably, I would say in a short period of time, there will be a breakout down or a breakout up.
Yep.
Now, Tony and Ann, what are we going to look for?
Well, one of the things that we can certainly look for, I mean, we can still apply a trend line to it and see if that makes any difference. But when we're consolidating for such a long period of time, the trend line may not show all that much. But if we check a higher time frame, we can certainly see if there is one there, Brian.
Okay, let's do that, and then pull that up a little bit. Right, there's a sort of a trend for that. I mean, it is an uptrend.
Yep,
Ever so
slightly, but
slightly.
yeah, there still is one.
I'll just pull that out a little bit further and back down there. Right. One of the things I do, but this is, you don't have to. I mean, I tend to go and change it into a line to make sure that I've got a touch there and a touch there, and it's sort of, it just, for me, it's just visually. It just, what it does is it averages out all of this up and down. You can also too, if you wanted to, you could choose Hikanashi, which also evens out the candles a bit, but I don't think it necessarily, helps out too much in this situation. For me,
The
it doesn't
Hikanashi
really.
candles are different in that they include the trend aspect, whereas the regular candles do not. So they do show differently and they do represent things a little differently.
Yeah, absolutely. They tend to, for me, you're right what you're saying. For me, it's about an averaging. It tends to average it.
Yeah.
So I think, I'm going to commit to this. This is something that you need to watch for the next, say, half to an hour. I think you're going to see some movement in this. And why I say that is, as a local boy in my local country, between 10 and 1 o'clock, I see a fair bit of sort of action going on. I don't know whether everybody goes to the pub for lunch and thinks, oh, look, I'll put a trade on. Maybe that's what happens. I'm not sure. Or the bankers may go and say, oh, I'm going to the pub for a few cold ones, and I'll put a trade on before I leave, and I'll have a look how it is when I get back. But I tend to see a little bit of action from that sort of point of view if there is an Aussie or a New Zealand dollar involved. Okay.
Yeah, I think you're quite right there. I think it is working itself up to something, but it's just not there yet.
Yeah. All right. Oh,
so Brian, what do you think? I mean, this the web analyzer. Oh, we got another EOD call for the buy.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm just going to have a look at that because that's EA. So what I'll do is I'll actually then go and duplicate. So which means I'll open up another screen. We can go back. If I go to the other currency, we may lose the markups that we've done.
Yeah.
So if I just say duplicate, I can actually get another one. So we can, for example, I can go from that one and then just click back that one, and we've still got the British pound one there. Okay. Now, some of you may have also too, if you're on the Zoom, like if you're watching from somewhere, that's fine. But if you're on the Zoom, the images of the people that are on the Zoom may be covering where you need to look. So what you can do is just hover over where we are and go and click on the one that's not the smallest little thing, but the next one, and then it only brings it to the actual active speaker that you'll see, or you can grab the little the banner of it and then pull it out of the way to some other position. All right, let's go over here. This is EA 15 for a buy. So again, we're in the cloud. That's okay though. Let's we can go. Let's discount it. It's interesting though. I would say I have learnt a lot from trades I don't take and I watch them later on. I mean, from my point of view, the vortex, look at that. You've got now the Aussie dollar is getting stronger and the euro is lifting up off. So this is a turn. This is a situation where that Aussie dollar can pull back down and the euro come up cross. So as it's coming back down, and look, we're even down here. What are we at? 39 at the moment on the RSI. Tony, I heard you say something in the background there. What's going on, mate?
No, I was just clicking with my mouse. What I was
Oh,
doing
right,
is,
so
that's it. You
that-
brought it to the middle now, so you can actually see which way the cloud's going.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's twisted there, hasn't it?
It's
Tony, I
got
want to ask
a.
you a question.
Go on.
For you, when you see the lines are pretty much overlapping like that, do
Yeah.
you consider that to be a TK cross when they finally split?
Do I do what? Sorry.
The red and the blue line, when they are kind of overlapping, so like right here in the middle of the cloud, they kind of overlap. They don't really cross per se, but they are sort of on top of one another, and then they kind of break away from each other. Do you
Yeah.
consider that to be a TK cross?
That is a cross, but it's also in consolidation as well,
Yeah.
and it's wider. The wider
Yeah.
it gets, the more consolidated it is. It shows the cloud in front as well. It's
Yeah,
doing
but
the same thing.
it hasn't actually crossed and come out the other side. It's
No, but
basically,
that's what I was wanting Tony's opinion on, because I think that there's a lot of different ways of looking at that. When you
Yeah.
know you're looking for an actual cross,
Yeah.
when you hear the term TK cross, but when they're overlapped and sitting on top of one another and they finally split, then that can also be considered a cross.
They're
that's
both crosses, but the perfect cross is the red coming down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the more definitive one, correct? Yeah.
More acute coming downwards.
Yeah.
and that's just a kiss.
Yeah.
I call it a kiss, an overlay when they come together and then come out at the same way they came in. So, I mean, just terminology, and you can use.
I mean, the
whatever.
ideal situation is for them both to be pointing downwards, obviously with the
Correct.
red coming through.
For a cell.
Yeah.
But this
That's
is interesting here. This is sort of going into a little bit of a cell, because if we were to put, this is just an example, is if we were to put a trend line through there for those candles, you can see this candle's broken that trend line, and there's at least two candles. Let's see what this one does. You got 10 minutes left on this this candle on a 15.
It's still percolating.
Yeah, if we go down to a 5 though, see what's been happening? This, that. I mean, there's a fair bit of indecision in here.
Mm-hmm.
From
still not quite there.
But there's a bit of momentum going on. I mean, you look at that. The red is below the blue, but the blue's straight. See, red's above the blue there, and you've got that uptrend. This is definitely sort of more of a downtrend aspect, and I'm seeing here.
And look what's happening right now.
So there's crossover. Yeah, it's going. Yeah, but this is a little retrace. Look, we're only 30 seconds into a 5-minute candle.
Yeah.
This is nothing. We have to wait till the middle, like 2.5 minutes, and then we need to wait till the end. I think this will push down, to be honest.
I was saying to you, Brian, earlier about a mirror trade a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
This is almost what I look at. You're right. It will go down, and it will virtually imitate or do the reverse of what you can see with the top of the cloud.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's going to go down, peak, and then come back up.
Yeah.
That's what should happen.
You mean the top of the cloud here?
Yeah. It'll basically. Yeah.
So that's what you're saying. It's going to come up, and then you'll see the cross there, which relates back to the next candle, and then down it goes.
It'll come down and then go back up. So it should mirror the top of the cloud, the green at the top.
Mm-hmm.
At the same position or further up, Tony?
Roughly. It's not precise.
Roughly
but
the same position.
Roughly.
Yeah, you see, it should go up. It might go up a bit here, and then bang, down it'll go.
Yeah, you've got a little bit of consolidation just here coming up. So it should come down, consolidate a little bit, and then carry on down, and then come back up. Should do.
Yeah. Well, I would agree, because what you've got is the euro crossing over the AUD. Euro come up and AUD down, so that means you'll get a little bit of buy going on, and also too, just coming off the bottom of the RSI here. I mean, that's quite low. That's 32. I mean, it can be a lot low. I've seen it down at 5 or 7, but normally 30 is sort of where it gets down to. and you're right, it's coming up.
Mm.
And this is also telling me this is going to come up.
Mm.
And what you're saying is the top of the cloud at that point. So if I was to draw a line, a vertical line at that candle, and what you're seeing is at that candle, there's that little bit of consolidation. But then again, that was a down, but the top of the cloud didn't really give us a down though, did it? It sort of went up.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we'll just
So
watch.
since these are obviously not quite there yet, Brian, do you think we might want to pop over to the scanner and see if there's anything there we can have a look at?
I will have a look there. What's in the chat there? Is anything in the chat there?
No,
Anne?
it's all good.
Okay. Oh, the chat's got it just shows up with a couple of questions up there for me. But, oh,
Then it might be just directly for you because I'm not seeing it.
No, that's okay. All right. So that didn't do that. So I'll go here. Here we go. I still think that GA and that EA have absolute potential trades within the next half hour to hour. That's just me, but
They're worth watching for sure.
and the DSD won't be doing that one. That's already gone. I'll pick this one. We'll just go to the hourly ones. Is that all right?
Yep,
See where
that's
it's
good.
at the moment. That's already come off. Let's see. Ooh, indicators there. Oh, that's the issue with me. I look at the keyboard, not at the not where I'm. Well, format up. That's it. So what do we got there? We've got a bit of a crossover, that coming down, RSI's high there. This is NZD-JPY. Oh gosh, this one can be pretty erratic. We've got a pretty good distance on here though, and like from
Yep,
there
we do.
up to there is like 170 pips.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I would call possibly a longer term trade. I mean, it's gone off that D point and down. It's also consolidation. I
Yep.
mean, this is the thing. There's a bit of consolidation going on at the moment. But what am I seeing there? That one's separated there. Okay, we've got that there. The only thing is that this could go into a bit of a buy here.
Mm-hmm. Before it turns around again.
Yeah, because because of this crossover here. But I mean, that could come back quickly. Let's look at some lower time frames. Is that all right, Anne?
Absolutely.
Let's look at M15. So we want to try and see if there's something that's NZD. USD CHF. That's an interesting one. Oh no, already gone. It's gone a fair bit. Some of these might be a bit late. There may not be that many scans.
There may not.
NZD USD, that one's already gone too. No.
No.
Let me have a look and see if there's other things. I think they might
I
be.
noticed if you go down a little bit on the 15, you'll see an EA. Might be curious just to have a look at that one on the scanner versus what the
Oh yeah, there's not a sharp.
versus what the web analyzer says.
Yeah, but this could have been well gone. Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. It nearly made TP3.
Yeah.
Interesting enough. And then you can see this consolidation there.
Yeah.
This is, the vortex is exactly the same on it because we're in the
Mhm.
same, and the RSI is in the same spot.
Yeah.
But that's where that starts to turn or not. See, this is the thing also too, Anne. As a trader, sometimes it can be frustrating, or it could be if you don't deal with your patience as far as like, oh, I've looked here, I've looked at here. It's like, again, it's no use taking any trade for the sake of taking a trade.
No, it absolutely isn't, because it's just you're just fooling yourself, first of all. But the point here, I think, is that the trade or the market is going to do whatever the market wants to do, and we have no control over that whatsoever. So we just have to mind our P's and Q's and be patient, and wait for it to do what we expect that it will do. And that may take a little while. It doesn't come necessarily at that particular moment in time. It may take half an hour, 2 hours even for the trade to go be in the right position. But it's worth the wait.
Yeah, well, you can see here on the vortex on this 15. Oh, this is on the 5 minute. Sorry, you can see how the euro's gone up and the Aussie's gone down, but you can see they're starting to come back to kiss. It's like it's not like this where one goes up and one goes down. Yeah. This is a we haven't got a clue what we're doing at the moment, but you are getting that sell happening.
Mm-hmm.
At the moment. There's still a minute to go in this candle.
Yeah. So we'll see what the next one brings on that one, because it is working its way out of the cloud again too. So.
Yeah, and the TK cross was here, and it's still going in that sort of sell
on
direction.
The 5, yeah.
Yeah, if we go up to the 15 though, you won't see as much on it. Yeah, that's still broken there. This is still turning there a bit. It's looking down at that 5 to see, like looking ahead a little bit. It is in a way. Let's have a look and see if we do that and then we pull it across a little bit. I mean, I haven't put any support and resistance lines in here, but like, where have we got? There. That's a possible sort of thing. Oh yeah. Let's put another one in about on that up. Put one about there. Okay. So let's just come back and have a look at that. See where they are. If we were to measure, I'm not saying this is going to do this, but they are dropping. To there is only 0.7 of a pip. Down to there is only 3. So it's not a big move if it's going to be dropping. We want not want. We desire sort of 10 pips if we can.
Yes. That would be the preferred number.
But if we measure, like this is a thing.
Look at it starting to go now. Going to go down before it turns.
That's a 15 pip move in there. Just that is. And so I'm a little restricted today. I sort of would have to flip over to my C-Trader and my phone. I'm using it to be able to broadcast this. So I'm sort of probably not going to be able to take a trade. I'm a bit, and I talk about this in my private trading group. I talk about the itch.
Yeah.
When you trade or not in the trade. And so it's to be, careful of the itch. See this coming, this separating out again and still coming down. This is still looking. This still is looking sellish at the moment.
Yeah, it's not ready for the turn just yet.
Even though Tony has given us a, it might go up a bit.
Should we maybe have another peekaboo at Geod?
Yeah, sure.
See what's happening with that.
Not much.
No. It's really just not doing anything.
I still think it's about half an hour to an hour away, that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yet when I think when it goes, you're going to see either a big drop or a big rise, one or the other. It's getting so. If you was that you again, Tony?
Sorry, I'm looking at the different charts. I should have my speaker off, actually.
No, you don't have to.
That's okay. We like the interaction, Tony, so it's okay.
Oh, no, I'm still looking at the EA because it is going as a sell. I know you're on a different pair, but I'm just waiting for.
I'm just going to go back. I'll go back and look at the EA. Yeah,
There's still a little, it's coming down, but there's a little bit of consolidation still. I'm looking at the 3 minute at the moment. Okay. 3 minute at the moment. 5 minute, 15
We can
minute.
go and look there too. Let's look at the 3 minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, still, yeah.
It's wanting to, but there's a little bit of consolidation still in the cloud. So, yeah, they're all pointing. The green line, as I call it, is not quite sure what it wants to do. It's looking down, but it keeps popping up. Oh, it's going down further now. There we go.
Yeah, there
We
it
got our
goes.
surge. Got the
So
surge.
are we going to call a sell on this, Anne, do you think?
I don't know.
I would. I'd call it a sell on this. This is separating out here now. This is the only thing RSI down low. I mean, there's 5 pips in
And
there.
I think if we do decide to do that, or decide that it's worthwhile doing, then I think we're probably only looking for maybe 3 to 5 pips on it.
That's
I'd
what I
say that
said.
as well. Yeah.
Well,
we're not
there's
going for the longer one on this one, I don't think.
There's 5 in there at least. If you had got there, that's 4 or 5 pips. I reckon that's going to come down to there. There's at least 7. So a safe 5, I reckon.
Yeah, I think 5 would be a good one.
All right, tell us when you're in. As I said, I can't do anything at the moment.
Poor Brian, he's stuck.
I could. I haven't got anything to put it on with. But that's okay. I normally use C-Trader, so that's the sort of thing I go over here and my C-Trader and work off that. But yeah. This is what I was. See how it's come back up again a bit. Just wait though. So we got 1 minute of that. Let's next candle.
Yeah.
There you go. Now it
Seconds.
could do.
It's that consolidation bit that's got to go through.
Yeah. But it's still been a nice downtrend though, Tony.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah. Perhaps I'm a perfectionist.
Perhaps. I think your history might say that.
Wow. Yeah, 3.
It's hard to sort of it's hard to negate what you've been most of your life, isn't it?
Wow.
Let's see. Let's go back. This is what I was going to explain. Even though we had an uptrend there, I've put another trend line in. It's like as if we're trying to work out, well, in a way that's an what do you call it? Like a wedge.
Mm-hmm.
And we're trying to see which way it breaks out, if it breaks down or breaks up out of that wedge. Because in consolidation, you're looking for the breakout, either up or down. And that's why I've sort of made those 2 trend lines, because you can see that's the high part, that's the low part, and I want to see where it's going to break out.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this, well, this is not predicting, but giving people insight. This will move either up or down out of there and quite dramatically. And within sort of half to an hour, I reckon. But I might be wrong. Back here. This EA is not sort of wanting to move too quick, too hard anyway.
No, it's not. It's kind of died.
On the 15 minute, I prefer to see it breaking through the cloud at the bottom with the red. The red line's almost coming through the blue. If that was coming down and the break was coming through the cloud, I'd be a lot happier. At the moment, I'm about 80% happy, but not quite 90.
Right. Well, our aim is to get you up as high as happy as we can, Tony. I mean,
Yeah, it's now coming back on itself. Sorry,
yeah,
it's
of
coming
course it
back on
is.
itself. Yeah.
Yeah, but you also see the vortex is doing that as well to cross over.
Mm.
And that might relate to that rise here in the cloud.
Mm.
Now it's going for its buy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's okay. It will.
But
I don't think.
that's what the web analyzer said it was going to do.
Yeah, but I don't know whether, because we've got a sort of a flip in the cloud here.
Yeah.
You got to remember we're on 5 minute. It was called on the 15 though for a buy,
Mm.
and that was, what did we say? Yeah, that was actually, it came one after the other. Your AUD, 15.15.
Yeah, they called it twice
That's
back to
hour
back.
8 minutes. That's 23 minutes ago. USD JPY. Do we have a look at that one? Let's go and look at that one. Bit of consolidation going on there as well. That's on the 15 minute. We're looking for a buy on that USD JPY, but that's not set up yet.
There is just a lot of indecision right now tonight.
Yeah, look at that. It's like pebbles on the on the
Yep.
ground.
You're skipping along the water.
Yeah, particularly on that. If we go to 5, you can just see it even more. I mean, that's a bit of movement, but that's not a lot of there's not a lot of pips on that. Gosh. Well, and I would say, what's the reason that we're doing this live trading as well?
It's multi-purpose. We're here to help to, teach each other and to learn from each other. So that's, I think, in my opinion, that's our primary focus. If we're lucky enough that the market cooperates and is willing to give us something along the way, then so much the better.
And look, the thing is, if anybody out here watching this, whether it's live, or the recording of that, and they'd like to sort of get into this is where they can reach out to you, Anne, or myself, or anybody
Absolutely.
that's introduced. If somebody else has introduced you to this live trading and the video, then get back to them.
Yep.
If it's through Anne and myself, then get back to us. We'll help you out so that you
Definitely.
can learn with us, and also be able to get some nice retirement income. That's what we're about.
Not a bad thing at all.
No, not at all. But look, remember, if we don't, this is a 1 hour sort of session of live trading, and there's basically 24 hours in the day, 5.5 days a week. And in this Forex market, there's $5.3 trillion that basically moves around the market on a daily basis.
Yep. Largest, most liquid market there is.
I'm certainly not greedy. I want a little bit that just falls off the table. When it's like I watch my granddaughter, she's eating whatever, and then the dog's waiting with its nose over the side. She drops a bit off the table. Hey, and the dog's sniffing. That's me. That's me waiting for the bit that drops off the table. Yeah, dealing with the emotions of trading. So, let's go and have a look at these other couple that we've got back here. We've got EA there. We go back to the 5 minute. You see it's gone up and back down again.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, Tony, even though that pulled back up there, like as a buy it was going to, it sort of finished off a sell candle with a You know, it's like a sledgehammer on the end of a handle. Oh, we haven't offended Tony, have we?
No, he was on mute.
Oh, he's on mute, really. Yeah, so it sort of hasn't really transpired into a buy sort of trend. You know, you've got retracement.
Oh,
And this is a bit of a lesson, though, isn't it, Tony? I mean, you've seen it plenty of times. A candle
Yeah.
starts out, and you go, "Oh, new candle." It's like, "Oh, I push up." By the end of the
Yeah.
candle, it's way down the other way. I
Yeah.
mean,
Or it's done this back up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down before it decides. Yeah.
yeah. And yeah, so one of the things that we're really looking for in trading is really a trend direction change. I mean, you look at that and that trend line, that's a buy, but the angle is really shallow. Like if you measure from one end to the other, it's probably only, 5 pips or what. See this
Yeah.
angle here? This is more of an angle that you want. You want this quicker down or this quicker up movement. That's where you get more pips. So let me do it as an actual example. If we, we're nearly down to the same sort of level of where this uptrend started.
Mm-hmm.
But it took all of this time to get there, but it only took this amount of time to get back down there.
Yeah.
And again, this is part of how Forex works. What goes up comes back down. What goes down comes back up. That's what they call them. That's why we have what are called moving averages. You have a 20-day moving average or a 50-day, or because every 50 days it comes and crosses over that line. On a 20-day moving average, It crosses it over on every 20 days. So it's just how the market's doing it. See, this
So
is
while
coming
we're,
back,
sorry,
kissing
Brian.
here. You're right.
I was just going to say, so while we're sort of maybe watching this and waiting for it to make a decision, why don't we just open things up and see if there's anybody that's on here with us this evening that has any questions or wants to talk about anything about this trade?
Or any of these trades.
Or any of them, yeah.
Or they might have something. Look, we're only picking up things that are coming off the web analyzer. And also, too, hey, look at that. See how that sort of, what's that on a 15? Let's go down to a 5. Here we go. This is GA. See how it's bink, bink. See what it's doing now? Coming out of that wedge?
Yeah.
Let's go down and have a look and see. Yeah. See when it spiked back here? Let's just see what happens here. This is where the British pound's becoming stronger than the AUD. And so that's why it's going to go into that buy. Sorry, I don't mean to cut anybody off. Please, just unmute and ask your questions. I suppose I've got a question though, Ed.
Okay, shoot.
Is this valuable? Is live trading for people that are on here or that watch the replay? If they watch the replay as well, give us feedback. Do you find this helpful to see what we're looking at and what we're talking about? See, that's that CG again.
Everybody's shy.
I thought it was
They're
directed
allowed
at
to
Anne.
be.
Sorry, Tony, what'd you say?
I thought that was directed at Anne. The
No,
question.
not necessarily. It's a general question for everybody.
Since I've been with IML, I have found live trading since we started it to be brilliant. I think the Q&A that is separate to this is invaluable because I've learned so much from that than anything else, but this live trading really has. It's interaction between everybody and you can pick up little tips from different people, which is what it's all about. And there's more experienced people at different things and they ask questions that makes you think as well, why is that happening? Which is brilliant.
Perfect.
You can't get that when you sit at a screen by yourself thinking, should I do it? Shan't I do it? What's that doing?
You hit the nail right on the head, Tony. I think, trading can be a very solitary thing.
If you
we
let
found
you.
that by doing it in the group and being able to discuss it and, and again, throw out ideas, different viewpoints, that it does open up your mind a little bit more to looking at things in a different way.
Mm. So yeah, 10 out of 10 for live trading. That's what I say.
Yay.
Absolutely, isn't it? Yeah, I agree. So much to learn. And just watching what people do or don't do. I mean, like for here, what I'm doing is I'm boxing this in. This was an uptrend. I'm putting it there. We saw it broke the uptrend, but it hasn't, it came with an engulfing sell, but the candle didn't finish below the trend line. This one finished below the trend line, but it came up and kissed that one. Now it's sort of doing this buy bit. So we've just got to see what happens. If it breaks through there, then it's really only just a continuation of consolidation on it.
Yeah. So Jeanette said that she thinks that we all learn better with live trading.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. We'll probably.
I'm almost in blue in the EA.
Oh, hang on. Let me go back. Have we got the EA up? No, it was here, I think. Yeah, EA. Yeah, see? Yeah, yep. Yeah, that's good. Oh, you see, you got a crossover happening here, but that's okay. It's a slightly lagged. We'll see. Yeah, you're back at break even, aren't you? Because what you did is you got into trade about there, it went back up, and now it's pushed back down again.
Yeah.
Where are we at, Tony? You reckon we're getting past this little bit of rise where we're going to start to?
It's broken through the 15. Coming down, even though the red and the blue lines are still parallel. The 5 seems to be all right. It's not sure what it wants to do. It's pushing down and then coming back. So let's have a look. Yeah. There should be hopefully there should be a sudden sell coming up shortly, because you've got at the top above on the 3 minute.
Okay, I'm in blue.
Yeah. You've got the red and the blue in the cloud itself. There's a little bit of a twist, but it's showing a downward trend.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd just like to see a little bit more candle coming through on the 15 with the red and the blue line pointing downwards. That would give me about 95% confirmation.
That's a really good point, Tony, that you just make there as a percentage of success. Like I was speaking with someone the other day and they were talking about the difference between gambling while you trade or being successful as a trader. And I think it just comes down to that whole percentage of success, and you're not going to trade until you've got a level of percentage of win that you will within that trade. I mean, anybody can take any trade, but it doesn't mean they're going to win it. It's about how we analyze it and what we do with it. Look at that. See how they're sort of separating out? So that's looking like that's going to finish up a sell, because we're only 1 minute into a 5 minute candle there. This is on EA. It might do that little push. I think we'll finish up. We'll see how we go anyway. It is pulling off the bottom of the RSI there, but it did pull off, come up, and then go back down again.
It's pulling back on the 3 minute at the moment, which is expected because you've got a little bit of consolidation in the cloud, but it's very tight. 5 is showing pullback slightly.
Yeah, I've got it on the 5 there now.
Sorry, yeah.
But that's okay.
15, still waiting, because 15 normally is the overall picture for me of the direction.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is here, see how it pushed down to this sort of support level, and then it went across and it's pushed up. It's whether it breaks through that little, if it breaks through that bottom support level, it's got much further to go too. We'll just see. We're 3 minutes into that. And we've probably only got about another 5 minutes that I can. No, I realize. So
It looks like this is
no.
going to be the only one that we'll get to tonight.
yeah, if that's okay, sorry. Now, do you have any news for people or not?
Do I have any news for people?
Yeah,
Prompting me, and I don't know what you're prompting me for.
about Tuesday. Tuesday
Oh,
night.
about Tuesday. Yes, indeed. Well, I think most of the members who saw the little post that I did earlier and yesterday for that matter too, is that we've now decided to go ahead and do this twice a week. Yay! So we're going to do it Tuesdays and Thursdays, same time. That seems to be working pretty well for everyone at this moment. Again, that's a variable we can reanalyze that as we go. But yeah, twice a week you get to spend an hour with us.
Same bat channel.
That's right. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Hi guys, thanks for inviting me.
Hey, Robert.
It's my pleasure. No worries.
Hey, check this out. This GBP, JBY is going crazy on the 5 minute.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see it. Probably can't see
Not
it.
really. Oh,
It's
there.
going up
Oh,
like
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
What's that mean?
What's it mean? Let's have a look.
GBP, JPY. I'm new at all this stuff, so.
Yeah, that's all right. It just means that the British pound and the Japanese yen are getting a bit different to each other. It's not showing up on the AUD yet. This
It's
is
on the
what I was,
5 minute. I got it on the 5 minute.
yeah, I know.
I see
Let me
it.
just-
I see it. It's going
If
to
I
come back
check-
down now.
It's on
there's
JPY.
Whenever it
It's
has
on
a surge, there's
JPY.
always a kickback. Like it's
GB.
happening now.
GBP, JPY.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I'll do is we'll just do this. Oh, sorry. What am I doing? That's not it. Whoops, I lost that one. Oh well.
The green going up like crazy.
Yeah.
There it is. Next.
This is on the 15 minute.
5 minute.
Yeah. Well, let me sort of give you a perspective of that. I'll open that up. We'll just measure it. So on the 15, it'll be the same distance. It went up 14 pips and it sucked back to only
Yeah.
7.
Yeah, it's coming back down now.
Mm,
Yeah.
Always does. People get caught out very quickly with those.
Yeah. What we're looking at is whether that, but if you look at it, it's not really much higher than what that sell candle. But I mean, it's great to be excited. I like that.
It's like, buy it. No.
Well, yeah, there would have been, you might have got 10, but you've got to be, see, sometimes
You
this
have
is
to be quick on that one.
Yeah, and also too, if that's like a scalping thing, you have to really be on top of it, and it can create a bit of a stress on it. Sometimes if you're doing more longer term, like for example, if you're in this trade from the start, for example, and you had that as a sell, I mean, we're down to there now, it's 11, but it was down to 18 pips. Now, this is crossing over again. That's why we're getting that little buy coming in and going back. Yet if this candle finishes above this trend line, it may just keep going into more buy candles. It just depends on what's happening there, because we're on the 5 minute. If we go to the 15, see, it still hasn't really broken. I mean, you can see on the 5 it has, but it's not really a conclusive. Is this a little retracement and then it's going to continue on up, or is this a little retracement and it's going to continue on down? That's what we're looking for. But at the moment, RSI is picking up, which means the sellers have finished and it's starting to go into a buying sort of trend. These are also crossing over. So British pound is euro. Sorry, this is a euro. The euro is starting to become stronger in relation to the Aussie dollar.
Yeah.
That's why you're going to have these buys coming in. Yeah. And that's where if you drop down to the 5 minute, you'll see it's already crossed over there. That's why it's doing that buy, and that's why that's pushed up there. Anyway.
Yeah, I think
what I'm
we're
going
going
to
to
do.
wrap it up for today.
Yeah, I apologise. I've got an important call I've got to get to now, just at this hour. It doesn't mean you can't stay on and look at those ones and keep going with it. So
I honestly, folks, I'm going to be very honest with you as well. I've been having really a bad week with my dog, my best buddy. He's not well at all, and I had like 3 hours sleep last night. So if it's all the same to everybody, I think we're just going to call it a night.
Yeah, I agree.
So have a look back at, you've got GA, you've got USD JPY, and you've got Euro AUD. They're ones that you need to keep looking at if you can over the next hour or so. So no worries, Jeanette. Have a great night, and we'll hopefully see you on Tuesday night, my Wednesday morning.
Thanks you guys for a great evening.
Oh, well, thanks for coming, Tony. It was really great to see you.
And thanks for your input. So if anybody wants to know about how to join us in being able to do live trading and learn how to do this like this, please just
simply reach out to Brian or me, and we'll
whoever
have a
introduced
and tell you how you can get to be part of this fun party, as well as anyone else who's introduced you to this this recording, and just reach out to them.
I'm with Paul, but getting up at 4 in the morning is getting old.
It is, doesn't it? I mean, it doesn't take long before getting up at that time of day gets a little tiring.
Yeah.
Well, also too, yeah, I do the Underground Railroad also on a, well, that still is going to be early for you guys too.
Yeah, it is.
It depends on when it is.
It's about 1 in the morning for us.
Yeah, I'm just going to stop the live streaming.